The knives are out. Are we going to see yet another leadership spill? Bob Carr fingered Peter Dutton as the leaker this morning of a controversial text, the Mean Girls text, the horrible, horrible person, complete psycho text. It looks as though there's a move on against the Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, and we have two clear leadership contenders, Peter Dutton and Josh Frydenberg, the Treasurer. Is this just another gigantic distraction? There are hundreds of people dying in Australia's nursing homes. It's an aged care crisis like we've never seen before. It is squarely the government's fault. They set up the private healthcare system, the private nursing home system, and they promised to get booster shots. They failed to do that. They promised to provide a surge workforce. That came late. And they promised also to provide rapid tests for COVID. They failed too. Their service providers, paid tens of millions of dollars, were on holidays. They took a few weeks off over Christmas while people were dying. The minister, Richard Colbeck, was at the cricket while there was a parliamentary inquiry going on into COVID, which he should have been attending in his portfolio. The incredibly disappointing thing about this whole affair is that this crisis politically has been brought to a head essentially by political theatre, by gossip. Journalist Peter Van Onselen surprised everybody last Tuesday at the National Press Club when he got up and read a text exchange from Gladys Berejiklian to an unnamed, unknown minister, presumably the one that provided the leak, the one fingered by Bob Carr. None of this goes to the incompetence of this government. None of it goes to the venal corruption of this government. None of it goes to the fundamental issues for which the government should be held account. It goes to gossip and political theatre. It leaves the narrative to be controlled by News Limited, Rupert Murdoch's newspaper and media empire. Once again, there's all speculation and gossip, the salacious stuff which grabs the attention, not the people dying, not the problems with the economy, nothing of substance, just personal gossip. Now, of course, Scott Morrison himself changed the rules to prevent this kind of thing happening again after he ousted Malcolm Turnbull. But there's nothing, as Bob Carr points out, to stop the party room, the coalition, from changing the rules back again and enabling them to bundle Scott Morrison out because the polls are moving against him. Now, even if they do replace Scott Morrison, what have we got in store? Josh Frydenberg has presided over an absolutely out-of-control spiral in Australia's debt. He's been wrapped by the Reserve Bank on a number of occasions for doing silly things like buying back Australia's bonds at the time when he was meant to be issuing more bonds to expand, to stimulate the economy. Even before the pandemic, Australia's economy was sliding into per capita recession. 40 billion of the 80 billion of JobKeeper to sort of foreign Italian fashion houses, multinational companies, to corporate salaries, bonuses, shareholder dividends. Here is a guy that has made the rich richer than they've ever been before, and the poor just struggling along on their $44 a day. Inequality has never been so high. The economy has been very poorly run on a number of metrics compared to other countries in the developed world. And then we have Peter Dutton. Here's a guy that wants to send young Australian men and women off to fight yet another useless foreign war. He wants to take on China. He wants to go after China with the terrible things they've done, while we're exporting $5 billion worth of arms to the Saudis to crush the people in Yemen, a humanitarian crisis of untold proportions there. Here we are claiming that China is the problem and that we might even be invaded by China, that this poses a military risk to Australia. This is a beat up. Here's a guy that sued a refugee advocate for making a tweet critical of his administration of asylum seekers. Will he sue Bob Carr now? Dutton has come out and said, I was not the leaker. This is false. The tweet needs to be taken down. Will he have the courage of this conviction to now take legal action for defamation against Bob Carr. Please comment below on who your favourite contender for the leadership of the Liberal Party is. This star-studded lineup, this team of champions, Team Australia. Thank you to all those who support us on Patreon. We need to put out more content, particularly now. It's critical at the moment that there's more independent media in Australia rather than less. Heading into this election, the more Patreons we get, the more content we can deliver, and the more we can go travelling and interview people of interest and do some really good, interesting long-form content, as well as the short-form stuff. Keep it ticking over. Keep the heat on the people in power in this country.